You're welcome to Flight Breakfast Central, going from Lagos to around the country and around the world. On behalf of your captain, I feel like an air hostess
Captain
today.
Olivia.
Yes, Captain Olive Emoji.
Yeah, and we're your co-pilot.
Thank you so much, my co-pilots, for joining us.
First Officer Johansson, First Officer...
Is that what it's called, co-pilot?
Yes.
I didn't really know.
And we've flown in an altitude of 3 hours.
Yes, an altitude for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
We're starting with a little bit of humor because the conversation that we're going to start with will trigger you. So please be aware, putting the notice out there. It's a video of a woman whose 4-year-old kid soiled her pants because the teacher or the principal, I'm not quite sure who, asked her not to use the toilet. So how do you ask a child not to use the toilet? Then the child soils themselves and then you beat the 4-year-old child for soiling themselves. Let's take a look at this video.
I'm sure she does not understand that when she feels pressed like that, she should go and meet her teacher and tell her, because she said that you told them in the assembly and you still came to their class to tell them.
I told them in the assembly.
Yes, that they should not poo in school.
I told them in the assembly.
Yes.
I'm going to address the children. What is that?
That's what my kids told me. That you told them on the assembly that they should not poo. You told them on the assembly that they should not poo in school.
Yeah.
And as a preschooler, that is what she understands, that they have been told not to poo in school again. So when she felt pressed, she could not come to you, to the teacher, that she wants to poo. So of course, even an adult.
Please, I'm busy with exams. We are still
okay, I
Exams,
understand.
so let's cut to the chase.
Okay.
Are you on the school platform?
Yes, I am on the school platform.
Did you see the last message?
Yes. You said
an frustration.
Okay.
Let me talk about the frustration of the cleaners concerning the way the children are going in and out
of the toilet.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Good. I remember vividly, you were one of the parents that came to the office.
Yes. To complain about not having lack of cleaners. Yes.
Cleaners in the school.
Yes.
And did I not tell you some of the challenges that we are having now in the country as regards certain jobs?
I understand that,
Very
but
good.
what I do not understand.
Last message, listen to me,
okay,
because I'm getting somewhere.
All right.
The last message I posted on the platform was to advise parents that as much as possible, do you know how many children are in this school? They should try and toilet train their children. Do you know the meaning of toilet training? Toilet training means teaching a child to use the toilet at appropriate times. Your daughter came to school, and I think it was 9 o'clock. I was still, moving around. I make it a duty now to inspect the toilet, something I never used to do before. And I was shocked that by 9 o'clock in the morning, she had already messed herself up. What does that mean?
Madam,
that means
there is a possibility that you will put now and you still feel pressed in a few minutes later.
Diet. I also said that another parent about
we should watch the diet of our children. So our children should not poo. Please, I'm not your student. Don't be rude.
That there are certain things that children can eat that will irritate their stomach. About 2 or 3 parents came to tell me that I should have spoken in simple English that majority of the parents will understand. There are certain things that children should not eat within school.
But I would like to.
Your daughter is too old to be messing herself up.
She has never done that before. I give my child to you. I'm sorry. I give my child to you. To love, to care.
So there's another video that has a woman's face showing. I'm upset that we don't even have that video to play. That should have been the one, because I think it's important that we see the principal or proprietor or headmistress's face. First of all, I'm hoping that the Lagos State government will look into, I don't know if it's Lagos State government really, I'm not sure where that happened. If it's in Lagos, some people in the comment section had said it's Ibadan, I'm not sure. But I'm hoping that our Ministry of Education, Commissioner of Education, where that state is, can help us. And if you're a viewer and you know where that school is, please help us fish out the school. The teacher, proprietor, principal, for the purpose of this conversation, I will refer to her as a headmistress.
Yes.
The headmistress was very, very disrespectful. As a parent, I don't think that there is a timetable or as a human
As a
being.
human being.
Your body doesn't have a clock for when it wants to poop.
Yeah.
You can, and not to talk of a 4-year-old child, you can actually have used the toilet in the morning and come to work and still feel pressed. There have been incidences, even with us adults on set, where you have to exit the studio to use the bathroom. It happens. The fact that you think that a 4-year-old pooing herself at 9 a.m. after giving a toilet ban is absurd is what concerns
Who
me.
gives a toilet ban? It's not even human. No sensible adult should ever come up with such thing.
policy.
Even
It doesn't make
soldiers,
sense.
you don't toilet ban soldiers that have the highest discipline standard. You can't do that to any human being. That's why it's called the call of nature. I was really upset watching the video. And then customer service. This woman is paying money to bring her child to school to be under your care. And you'll say, let me speak, or what was she saying?
Listen to me. You're talking to her,
Exactly,
you're
listen
talking
to
her.
me.
Yeah.
That was very, very
Exactly.
rude.
She doesn't have time. She's preparing for
Yes.
this. You know, I think the video you just saw is the edited one. I'm sure if you go online, you may be able to find the full clip, but you need to have the stomach to
Restrain yourself.
to restrain
At some
yourself
point, she's telling
while
her,
watching it.
imagine
because-
at the beginning, a parent, and the parent was very respectful from
Oh,
that
yeah.
audio.
Oh, yeah, she was.
came to her and started, and she was
yes.
explaining, and the headmistress just says, cut to the chase, I have exams. How do you speak
To your customer.
your customer like that? And the problem again is impunity. Because businesses don't realize that your customer is your lifeblood, that the customers are the lifeblood of the business. So first of all, that man has no business being a headmistress running a school. She has absolutely
Zero
no business.
empathy.
Zero empathy. And let's
Completely.
even imagine that there wasn't a toilet ban and this child pooed on herself. She is
She's
a
a child.
It
That's what
happens.
children do.
Yeah.
They're telling the parents to watch the child's diet. So basically alluding to the fact that you don't think the parents are doing a good job. Whereas you, as a headmistress, you're doing such a shoddy job. Please, if anyone watching this knows the name of that school, please drop a comment in the comment section, reach out to us, tweet at News Central TV, or you can tweet at us individually so we can get to talk about the school. I think that it's high time that when we see bad behavior, we lend our voice to do, we'll call it out, we will name and shame, and start to see, and there has to be repercussion. We can't continue like this.
Yeah, and going further, like Oliver said, I think is one of the things we would start doing here on Breakfast Central to ensure that we highlight bad behavior. So if you're one of such who engages in, you know, bad behavior or anything like that, just get ready, because we are not going to sit back and just allow such go through. I mean, I was thinking to myself, if that was my daughter,
Do you understand?
I go to the school and you tell me,
You wouldn't have that patience. I think the way she's...
I don't know. I think Nigerians, we know times are tough. Don't get me wrong. Everybody is angry. But the best you can do is to ensure that it does not affect the quality of service that people are
Exactly,
paying
especially
for.
people in the service industry, hospitality, education, when you interface with
hospitals.
people. People are going through a lot. You don't bring it
You know what?
to
If you
work.
also know that you have bad character, it's understandable. You're an adult. You don't have good character, or the pressure is getting to you too much. Hire a customer representative. Hire a
Exactly.
client relations
Yeah.
representative. So you don't have to do the one-on-one interaction, so that your representative can do and save the face of your organization. It's a shame that was handled very poorly. We're hoping that we can get the name of the school, that a proper investigation is being carried out, and that woman doesn't just owe that parent an apology. She owes every parent an apology, because that is a
Yeah.
reflection of how you treat your students and how you treat your children, and it's really poor.
Very poor. Well, let's move on now to another story on Wake Up Conversations. It's got to do with Ishekiri. Yes, let's go to the people of Ishekiri. Yesterday, at about 9 a.m., the community stormed what was known as a Shell facility, formerly Shell facility, and they stormed there because they were protesting. What were they protesting for? They were protesting that INEC has now gotten the powers to create communities, so to say, and they said that's not in INEC's power to do so. Bottom line, they shut down the oil production, and we're talking about 28, that's about close to about 28,000 barrels per day crude. And this simply means that now that we're starting to have protests happening within that particular area, how would it affect Nigeria's economy? But then again, the major story with this video we're about to show to you has got to do with the fact that the people of Ishekiri feel that they're being pushed to the wall. Let's take a look. Let's see. what happened.
All right.
I'm told that the video is not ready
So
yet.
if you
but then
have a problem with INEC, you pick it up with INEC. What's the business of NNPC or Shell with delineation of constituencies, or if you think they're creating more communities? And it's not INEC's duty in the first place. So channel your anger to the appropriate authority.
Maybe they feel like that's the only way that
be
they can
tampering with critical national assets like pipelines and production facilities.
So if you say that, it's akin to those who shut down the power grid, right? People sometimes would feel that the only way they can get attention, if they had gone to court, we probably might not have been talking about it now.
Okay, peaceful
we probably
protests
wouldn't
on
have
the
gotten
streets,
as much
placards.
attention. Well, there's that
Yes.
too. Well, there's that. But I mean, let's take a look at this video.
We are not comfortable with the INEC deletion results that we got recently, because actually we have 6 wards while our neighbors have 4. But the painful part of it is 2 issues here. They inflated their own. We don't know how they have the magic with INEC. However, we don't want to know that too. And the greatest surprise, we that have 6 become 5. If I can't fight, let me just shout and let the world hear my voice, and if I can die for that, there's no problem. But the world should know my pain.
Because this is an oppression, that they are oppressing us the full entire Shekiri. And it's time for us to come out to make the federal government to know that it's time for them to come and look into this issue so that they can resolve, because we is the Shekiri, we're not a violent people.
Quite frankly, I mean, he says the Shekiri people they're typically calm people. So it feels like they might have been pushed to the wall. I'm not speaking for or against their actions or how they've handled it, but I do think that this is a call for INEC or for the government of Delta State to sort of revisit this, to find a way for peaceful resolution. Everything does not have to end up in a protest. But unfortunately in Nigeria, it feels like until you show some measure of force, of resistance, you're not really being heard.
What about good sportsmanship? I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What if the process had been fair and they just felt, no, why should they have more constituencies than us? That's another possibility. But in everything we do, we should ensure the principles of equity, justice, and fairness.
I think the country is going through a lot economically, and I think shutting down a 28,000 barrel per day production facility shouldn't have been done. But I understand that they want to be heard, and that's the only way they feel they can be heard.
Right.
But let's not forget that the economy is struggling right now, and anything that would further affect the economy from gaining
Very
strength.
fragile.
It's fragile, that's the word. Before you know it, we might be borrowing more money.
So don't tamper with our common patrimony, like they say. Our final wake-up conversation. Lagos State government has decided to condemn the hike and agency fee. Lagos State government condemns rent hike and agency fee. This has been an ongoing conversation since the beginning of this year. Joe is very particularly interested
Can we please scroll up?
in this.
Okay.
And you're wondering if, what's going on? We had a conversation on Lagos State, I think it was a Lagos State House of Assembly that was going to pass a bill to remove the payment of, I think, agency fee, or just make it more uniform. Yes.
Of course, that was already done in the East as well. And we do remember that the commissioner here in Lagos had been paying attention, especially the Commissioner for Housing in Lagos State, Honorable Maruf Akinde Rufatai. They've been paying attention, they've been following closely what is happening. But the big question simply is, for me, who will stop the landlords from collecting 2 years? If you have not, I repeat, you can look at me again, if you have not had housing issues.
You don't know what God has done for you. The funny thing is that there's actually legislation, I believe, that forbids 2-year collection of 2 years rent. But it's almost like a far cry from what the reality is. Now, even beyond the collection of 2 years rent, the collection of 1 year rent, it's exorbitant.
You've not worked for the money.
Yeah, so the thing is, there's an argument. The landlords will argue that at the end of the day, they are also shopping from the same places where we are shopping from.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. Just to give you an idea of what houses within the Lekki environs, if you see a house of, say, 5 million for 2-bedroom apartment, you know, it should be great for a 3-bedroom. And that's stretching it is 5 million for 3-bedroom. The average for the modern houses, you see the range of 10 million, you know, and you're just thinking, where do they see this money? Literally.
Yeah.
So I do think that it's an important conversation to have about housing, and we will be having that conversation in depth by tomorrow. So if you have questions, suggestions, contributions, please tweet at News Central TV, or you can share your experiences as well. Let's share with you our top stories this morning on Breakfast Central.